Hi, my name is Jenna Ortega. I'm going to be reminiscing about all of my firsts with ELLE today. Before we do this, you should probably watch Wednesday on Netflix.
本日はネットフリックスで大ヒット中のドラマウェンズデーを見てネイティブがよく使う英会話フレーズを学んでいきましょう。皆さんごきげんよう、ゆるイングリッシュクラスのハイドレンジアです。今回はドラマの大ヒットに負けじと人気急上昇中の主演女優ジェナ・オルテガさんのインタビュー動画で英語を学んでいきましょう。インタビューでは彼女の数々の初体験について語っています。ドラマで演じたウェンズデーはかなりダークで皮肉屋な女の子でしたが、実際の彼女はどのような人柄なのでしょうか。それではまずは字幕付きの動画をご覧ください。
My first heartbreak when I was 11 and I had gotten this beta fish and I had had this beta fish for maybe 2 years and it committed suicide. I had this tank and the littlest, tiniest baby hole at the top. I don't know how he did it. And he jumped through that hole one morning. And I was going to LA that day to go to work. And my sister had known because she had gotten up for school. And I came around the corner. I came around the corner to check on him and feed him. My sister said, "Oh, don't worry, I fed him already," and pushed me through the door. I went to work. I think it was on the Jane the Virgin set. And then driving back home that night, my mom said, "You're gonna go inside and Kobe's tank is gonna be empty." And I cried like a big baby. That was one of my first real sobs. The first time I felt like I made it, I have a very supportive family and they sacrificed a lot for me to do what I do. Another thing that I love about them is they do not care at all what I do. They have no interest in this world, in this industry, and you know, I could come home from working with cool people or prominent people or people that I respected and they had no interest. It was, hey, you missed your day to do the dishes or you didn't do the dishes before you left, so you're on dish duty for the rest of the week. It was very normal. And I think the first time I felt like I made it was they asked me about someone that I was working with. And I was just so blown away by the fact that they asked me a question about my job. That was really cool for me. I went to bed that night with a smile. My first time giving advice, I think I was 8 years old and it was with my mom. My older sister was a bit reckless and I remember my mom was having a hard time because it was her first kid and she was stressed out and I don't know what possessed me, but I told her, "Girl, you're doing just fine." I said, "You're a wonderful mother." I said, "She's a teenager, she's gonna have her rebellious years, and don't worry because a couple years from now she's gonna regret it. And she's gonna come back to you and you guys are gonna be sweet and lovey or whatever." But I said, "Cut yourself some slack." I said, "Relax, you're gonna be good." And she looked at me and she called me a 40-year-old woman. And I think that was the first time that I felt like I said something and thought, yeah. I think the first scary movie that I watched, or at least saw part of before I ran away in fear, was Child's Play, I want to say. My older siblings and my Theo were watching, and I asked if I could watch the movie with them because I loved movies, and they said, "No, you're gonna be too scared." They sent me to my room, and I remember peeking around the corner of my hallway to watch the film, and I literally only saw his hand. I screamed in terror because I knew he was this murderous doll, and then every year I would have a nightmare about a hand up until I was about 15. The first time I watched The Addams Family, I was about 8 or 9, and I remember just being absolutely enamored. I always liked little weird things, and I liked that they weren't the conventional family, and obviously Wednesday, I wanted to be her so badly, and I think I related to them a lot. No one seemed to like them, yet all of America, or all of the world really had fallen in love with them. The first day on the set of Wednesday, I remember being really, really nervous. I remember it was my first time in hair, makeup, wardrobe complete. And I remember getting on set and Tim not being happy with the hair yet. He kept saying the fringe is wrong, or "Oh, her left braid is too high and this needs to be lower, and now they're too thick, now they're too thin." And he wasn't happy with my fringe, so he took the hairdresser's comb. Politely, he asked, like, "Hey, do you mind?" He just messed with my fringe and was dissecting strands. "No, this needs to be thinner, thinner, whatever." And then took the hairspray and just hairsprayed the hell out of my hair. And then it was like a rock. And it was like that exact same position, strand, whatever, for 2 weeks maybe. It was a lot of that sort of thing. And I didn't talk. It was literally just me walking down a hallway and then me starting to drop piranhas into a pool. I think the first cast outing was a barbecue at Tim's house in Romania. He had this place. It was really awkward. I think it was awkward, but only because I make things awkward. I just didn't know what to say or do. And there was no music playing. So it was just a very quiet party.
それでは英会話フレーズを10個ピックアップしましたので、 復習していきましょ
and it committed suicide.
Commit suicide.
う。自殺する、命を絶つ。
With cool people or prominent people,
Prominent people.
著名人。
I felt like I made it was they asked me
I made it.
やった、うまくいった。
that I was working with. And I was just so blown away.
Be blown away.
圧倒される、とても驚く。
And she was stressed out, and
Be stressed out.
ストレスで参る、疲れ切っている。
she's gonna have her rebellious years.
Rebellious years.
反抗期。
But I said, cut yourself some slack.
Cut yourself some slack.
誰々を多めに見る、誰々をもう少し寛大な目で見てやる。
And I remember peeking around the corner,
Peek.
覗く、こっそり見る。
and he wasn't happy with my fringe.
Fringe.
前髪。
He had this place. It was really awkward.
Awkward.
気まずい、ギクシャクする。ジェナ・オルテガさんのインタビュー動画はいかがでしたか？当たり前かもしれませんが、ドラマで演じた役とは違い、明るく、チャーミングでしたね。20歳とめちゃくちゃ若いのに受け答えもしっかりしていて、とても賢そうな話し方をされていました。自分とは正反対のウェンズデー役も完璧に自分のものにしていました。魅力的な女優さんですし、ドラマも面白かったので、シーズン2の制作をガチで願っております。それでは、本日のクラスはここまでにいたしましょう。最後までご視聴くださり、本当にありがとうございました。ではでは、また次回お会いしましょう。